You're listening to The Drive Home on 710 KURV. I'm Davis Rankin along with Roxanne Garcia. The issue now is, what will McAllen do? There was the announcement that Borderfest was coming to McAllen. That was made a couple of weeks ago, I guess. The court decisions have gone against the Borderfest Association that Joe Vetta was the head of for a long time. Roy Rodriguez is the city manager in McAllen, and he joins us. Roy, thanks for being with us. What's the city going to do?
Well, we're going to continue to do what we've said from day one, and that is that all we were going to do for this event was going to be a venue for Borderfest. Mm-hmm. And as you all know, as the whole valley knows, Borderfest Association came to McAllen and requested that we provide them a venue for whatever reason. They were going to be out of Hidalgo. And so we were treating them like we do any other client or any other customer at the convention center. I mean, obviously, Borderfest is an iconic festival that the entire Rio Grande Valley should be very proud of. And again, we were ensuring that we were going to treat them with respect as they deserved. Now that the judge has ruled as she has, we're going to do what we said we were going to do, and that is respect that the decision of the judge. And the judge has said that Borderfest will not be held outside of Hidalgo, and therefore we will not have a festival at the convention center.
Okay. Mr. Rodriguez, what about next year? I know that this was such short notice. I mean, it's 5 weekends away until the first weekend of March, which is when Borderfest is going to be held. Can you guys continue to fight this? And now you have more time to make the 41st year in McAllen and start a new tradition here?
Well, it reminds me of something you said, Roxanne, a few days ago, that you kept reminding the audience that this is not McAllen's fight.
Yeah.
It's not going to be McAllen's fight.
I'm glad you listened, Mr. Rodriguez. I'm a little shocked right now.
I was smiling when you said that. And because you're right. And so there is no fight for us to have. If a fight continues, it will be between those two parties. And that's it. If someone asks us to be a venue outside of any injunction as we see here today, then we will consider it. But otherwise, there is no fight with us.
You've got the existing Borderfest Association that Joe Vetta, first city manager in Hidalgo, now assistant city manager in McAllen. That's the one he's associated with, I suppose, in the public's mind. Then you have the one that the city of Hidalgo has started, which I think is Borderfest Hidalgo, Hidalgo Borderfest, I think is what they call it. Two separate organizations. It's the name Borderfest that cannot be used. So
that is correct. And what we've said is that Borderfest is very important to the Rio Grande Valley, and if they needed a venue, we'd provide it. And so, since the court has ruled that it's not going to be outside of Hidalgo, then it cannot be Borderfest. And if it isn't Borderfest, then we are not interested in just having another festival. I mean, that's not what we want to do, and that was never our intent.
Now, Mr. Rodriguez, do you know what's going to happen with Border Texan of the Year? I know they were going to have the two together somehow. That was the plan.
Right. Well, as you know, Border Texan announced that they were coming to the convention center.
Yeah.
Our understanding is that those are two different groups. Border Texan and Borderfest.
Yeah, the Border Texan committee is separate.
Correct. That's the way we understand it. And so the relief that the city of Hidalgo received was for Borderfest. So as of today, our understanding is that Border Texan of the Year will have their event at our convention center.
Who's the head of the Border Texan of the Year committee? Do you know?
Well, there's several. There's John David Franz. There's Glenn Roney, Val Lamantia, Paul Moxley, and others.
Okay. Do you what has been in the court until now? I should tell you, we're talking with Roy Rodriguez, city manager of McAllen, saying that there will be no festival in McAllen this year. Borderfest will continue in Hidalgo per a court ruling. There's a trial on the merits scheduled for later in 2016. At least one of those lawyers has told me they're going to go ahead and do the trial. Now we'll see what happens. What will be the city's posture, I guess, at that point, or can you say?
Again, we don't have any position in that. We're not party to a lawsuit, nor do we intend to be.
People have talked as if they believe the city tried to steal, as the way one person tried to steal Borderfest from Hidalgo. And I bring it up because I bet you've heard the same thing.
Well, of course, and even when we were asked to consider it, we knew that would happen. I mean, that happens all the time, and unfortunately and unfairly, that's the way some folks see McAllen. But the truth of the matter is that we help just about every community in this county. They make a phone call or send us a letter, and we're there, including Hidalgo. So that's not going to change.
Anything that we should have asked you that we did not?
No. We're of the same opinion that we were on day one, and we wish everyone well. We will not have a festival.
I have one more question, Mr. Rodriguez. This whole Border Texan of the Year, do you know when it will be held? What date?
We'll call.
It is, what I understand, is Friday, March 4th.
Okay.
All right, Roy Rodriguez, thank you very much for your time.
Mr.
We appreciate
Rodriguez.
it.
You bet.
All right, again, Roy Rodriguez, the city of McAllen, Davis Rankin, and Roxanne Garcia.